Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world watching this review. Hello, we have no idea where we are. I'm not going to be doing this accent the whole entire time because I would
What
be
accent?
canceled. What I don't know. Anyways, apparently, according to some people, I have a California accent, which I was like, okay, cool, like righteous, bruh, but nah.
Well, that's a surfer accent, not just a California accent. I mean, come on.
I mean, look at the state of the education system, but that's for a whole nother episode. That sounded mean. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
it's completely right. There's no mean there. There's just the years of built-up resentment have just been finally coming out for you, and I feel.
I know. But we are here to talk about something that I actually love. Well, for the most part. I actually really enjoyed AEW this week, though I have some things that I do have questions on that we'll get to in this review. But welcome all my BC WrestlePod familia, nerds, and all other part-tides of individuals who tend to watch us from time to time. And welcome to the, oh my goodness, we are here to review this week's AEW programming, or at least last week's programming, to prepare us for tomorrow night and for Collision. And we're finally here. We are entering all the special themed shows for the next couple of weeks. I am one of your hosts. Yep, I am one of your hosts, Mikey. And joining me this evening, of course, is my homeboy, JVL, also known as Adam Hangman. What is this nickname?
Adam Hanger Steak Page.
Yes.
Steak is a type of steak.
I love it. So the two of us will be going through AEW this week. Unfortunately, we are missing the professor, our bald fraud of the group.
Are we missing him, or is he just now a guest star that comes in once in a blue moon? I don't think it's missing anymore.
Little does he know, because I don't think he watches our reviews when he's not on them, but he is going to have a very fun summer. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh, he is.
Well, there's going to be a week where it's going to be all hands on deck. I'm not going to leave you guys high and dry, but you will be doing this without me for a week because I will be gone.
Shocker.
Don't worry, though. You will be in good hands. We'll talk about that as we get closer to it. But, Professor, we actually do miss you. I hope you're doing great. You and your Shakespearean-ness thing that you are doing. Love you. He's fantastic.
He's one of my favorite comedies. This is what gets me. He's playing a role that's very funny and very well put together, and it's kind of the clown of the piece. That's in maybe 2.5 scenes of a 5-act play. So he can't be here because of rehearsal.
We let that sink in for the Professor. We got a job to do, and we are going to do it. But before we get into the review, if you like what you see on the screen, or even if you don't, that's okay. We love you either way. So make sure to hit the bell notification, subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitch, or if time or attention span like mine isn't up to par, and you can't commit yourself to a full video review, that is okay. You can get good chunks of information of what we said during our review on the social medias, because we do out-of-context clips, and we do report cards for the weekly shows and the pay-per-views.
I'm not going to say, though, Mikey, the out-of-context clips a lot lately are just your face not talking while someone else talks, which we know you're the moneymaker of this show, but...
Yes, and that won't change. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to do better to find, good moments. It's just that the editing program I use is still very new to me, so I'm learning as we go.
It loves your face.
I know. It's got the money-making shop, but that is okay.
Well, I'm trying to get into that algorithm. I'm coming to you wrapped in Tony Storm's bosom, so I am here.
We'd love to see it. But again, follow us on the social medias. We also have merchandise as well.
I should be wearing it soon, hopefully.
But also, we know that times are tough. I actually appreciate our new merchandise partnership with Fourth Wall, because I think they do a very good job of being fair with prices, also trying to make a profit here, while also having to deal with the ever-changing landscape that is the economy here in Los Unidos. So, very interesting times that we live in. So, I will be plugging that in throughout the review. So, check the comments below, or check our social medias and click in the links to our link tree for all that good stuff.
Get the mystery wrestling shirt.
We got shirts for all the review shows, and just dropped not even 3 hours ago is our Hot Boy Summer collection, which I loved.
I want that one in a tank top so bad.
Which includes a t-shirt, a tank top, a regular trucker hat, but specifically just for this collection, an embroidered bucket hat for the summer.
Nice. I was just saying, we're getting a zip-up hoodie for this one for the summer months.
This is Hot Boy Summer. It is summer, so we are trying to stay away from the long sleeves. But who knows? Fat Boy Winter is coming up upon us in 2 seasons.
Also short sleeves as well if it's Fat Boy Winter. I mean, come on.
Yes, that is very true. But now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into it. So, we're going to be covering this last week. This is going to be an interesting one because JVL this week for AEW, this was a crazy one because we got a back-to-back Dynamite and Collision within the same, like 48 hours of just AEW programming.
And both live too, because it was because of the NBA playoffs, right? They were bumped.
Yeah. So we got live Dynamite and Collision back-to-back on a Wednesday and Thursday. So had a little more time to catch up on everything, but let us begin with the AEW Dynamite. Dina Monte, wrong person. Dina Monte, love her. Anyways, so we kick Dynamite off with this promo.
Oh, kiss already. Just kiss already.
Just so first we have Hangman Aggro Page come out to cut a promo and basically tell us that, he has to leave Swerve. In the past, he's been an angry person, which is cool, which I was just like, thank you for admitting to it. I'm not your therapist, though I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Yes.
Hangman Aggro Page.
That's the first step to acceptance.
And of course, Will Ospreay comes out. Will Ospreay cuts a Will Ospreay promo full of passion and also kind of calling Hangman Page out on his crap, which is kind of nice as well. It's like, yeah, nobody really has done that except for Swerve, but we're not having these two fight for right now, so we need somebody to do so.
In the finals, the Owen coming up. So obviously this is the big setup of, I respect you as a wrestler. I respect what you've done, but bruv, I have beaten Swerve twice. I can beat you like nobody's business. We've never, ever interacted in this way in any of the places we've been, and now I'm going to beat you.
Yes, which I love the intensity. And depending on the person, fortunately or unfortunately, we get interrupted by the Don Phallus family.
If I might, before we jump into this giant, phallus head that's going to walk in and take over the room, build for this part of the tournament, I have been so impressed with. Genuinely, I don't know who I think is going to win the tournament to take on the AEW champion. And honestly, no matter who does, I think I'm going to be happy with it.
It's crazy how the men's one, I feel the exact same way for you. Whereas when we talk about the women's one a little bit later during the review, there can only be one answer.
And we're not going to get that answer.
We shall see. But
she lost. We'll get there, but Money lost the belt. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, so going to be interesting. But Don Phallus and his family come out. So here, of course, we have Josh Alexander peeking right behind his big old head is Lance Archer. We get Rocky Romero and, shredded Trent Beretta, call me. So I was just like, if you just stay like this the entire time, that is wallpaper material right there.
I mean, I've got my wallpaper up. You should put yours up.
I mean, that is very true. But basically, Don Phallus wants to come ruin the party and poo-poo all over it. So he sets up, Hangman and will team together against the Don Phallus family at Beach Break. And you know what? He doesn't need to do much because those two are going to implode on each other and they are not going to work together. And I'm just like,
they cannot survive.
They cannot survive. They cannot coexist. So Takeshita, by the way, you had a fun week, my friend, and I got to see you live for it. So it was nice.
You definitely did.
It was great. So this sets up, opening with the promo to remind us, this is one of the matches happening at Double or Nothing in 2 weeks, which is crazy to think of. So much build. And then we get Beach Break starting tomorrow. So this sets up everything. This is going to be a fun one. I like this promo. This sets up a match for Beach Break. I'm cool with it.
It was a great way to open the evening, setting the tone for the rest of it and really without having to do a match and also getting to look like half of the Dom Phallus family just like got up off a couch somewhere from playing video games and eating Funyuns. They're all ready to go and have some fun. So not a bad way to get us going here.
Now, kiss.
Yeah, again, with the kissing.
I will say, though, Dax, I need to know if that's for sale, that jacket or whatever you're wearing, because I actually do like it.
Yeah, but this, Mikey, like, haven't we seen this exact promo twice now?
Yeah.
Are they going anywhere with this?
I mean, not on Dynamite, not really. On Collision, we get a little. So, okay, I don't mean to be mean to Tony Schiavone, but Tony is not the person that FTR needs to be bullying because let's be all the way real, Tony ain't gonna fight back. Now, what happens on Collision, though, that's the right person to make mad because at least he still can kind of go. More on that when we get to Collision.
Oh,
but again, this is the second week in a row, and I'm just like, I feel that we are fighting the wrong person. So I was just like, because the feud is supposed to be with FTR versus Daniel Garcia, which again, we get a little bit more of a progression on Collision.
Right.
But FTR's infatuation of literally cutting down Tony Schiavone at every chance they get, I was just like, okay, we've seen this twice already. So if we're going to come at this again, we need to change it up a little bit for me personally.
Well, and of course, the other thing you've got going here is you've got this storyline that's been going on for, I think, about 3 weeks now. And what does WWE go and do? But do the same thing, but with Gunther, and they pay it off this weekend at Backlash in a different way. And honestly, this is superior. This is actually better storytelling.
It is. We don't have 2 weeks until Double or Nothing where they decided to do this out of nowhere, because this has kind of been simmering for a little bit. So, but I am hoping that we start to go to the next step, and I don't want these two to repeat themselves again for a third, fourth week in a row. So,
same.
But basically here, FTR is ready to fight Daniel Garcia tomorrow night on Collision for a match. So Daniel will be facing one of the 3 members of FTR. So it's either Dax, Cash, or Stokely. More on that to come later.
Right, because it literally happens the next day. Oh, tag team.
Yes. I'm here for this.
Yes.
Team T and A, and it's not what you think.
Except Anna thought it was.
Yes, I love you, Anna. You're so great. Again, it's Madison, which do I, but it's not where you think. It's literally giving me that energy from the She-Hulk series, and I love this.
This is taking that same space that Adam Cole and MJF had about a year ago when they were doing their buddy cop stuff. This is starting to get there, and I want those vignettes. And I feel like if they start giving us those vignettes, the professor might come back from getting his carton of milk that he said he was getting a couple weeks ago that he's never walked back from, and he's definitely coming back.
It's okay. While JBL, decompresses and internalizes, child abandonment issues, being abandoned as a child, apparently, this vignette sets up because we also get something for Beach Break with these two and another party of 2 later on Collision. But Harley and Anna,
Harley also,
I love you so much.
Harley was on Collision. It was great.
Yeah, I loved it. It's absolutely love these 2. This was so good. This was so just good. 4 women just going in there. I actually love that everyone got a chance to shine, but this was a full eliminator 4-way match with Timeless Tony Storm versus Thunder Rosa versus Penelope Ford. We love you, P. Ford, in this household. And Anna Jay. This was fun. This was great.
I loved it. It was worked well. Tony Storm is a fighting champion. She's having a blast with all these women, even with the Megan Bain interference, to go after Anna Jay. Really well done.
This was great. Tony Storm does pick up the victory here, so she wins the 4-way eliminator, but this is fun. If it gets more women on the programming, I'm not going to complain about it.
It keeps her relevant. It's not just her walking around doing promos, like you said, sitting back, having a veal parmigiana. She's actively participating. There's women's matches on there. It's showcasing the title in a great light. People are still wanting to go after it, and she's not burying most of the women's division. She's kind of setting them up to go in the way of Megan Bain, but they're still being used.
Absolutely. So I love it. Love you, Tony. I love all these women involved. This was a fun match. This is our first match of the show.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, seriously. So good.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we get a hurt. We kind of try to get a Hurt Syndicate, segment in which, we are reminded that they are the tag champs. And so they want to have these tag titles be defended. So they want somebody to come from the locker room to fight the Hurt Syndicate. And someone does. So it does end up being Top Flight. But I was like, I smell a stunt, and a stunt was had, because then
I love in the promo that Top Flight put down the other people they're feuding with, who were also in the crowd. Like, Darius had a damn good promo against these guys before he got blindsided.
I think that's what kind of made me a little irked about this whole situation, too, because I was like, wow, this is actually a pretty good promo. Let me have a program with these 2. Oh, wait, no. Top Flight is here to set up what we're truly here for, which is MJF beating up on Darius and Dante and, saying, Bobby said, hey, if you want to be in the Hurt Syndicate, you need to hurt somebody. And he ended up hurting Dante and Darius. And I'm just like, what do these 2 boys ever do to the locker room, to AEW, for them to be cannon fodder like this? It makes me sad.
Me too. They are such a talented duo and had so many stumbling blocks when they first joined the company that it's like, use them for something. And now with that fiery promo, I was like, oh, man. Yeah, no, I would have loved to see Top Flight get wrecked by the Hurt Syndicate.
Not by MJF. But
No.
MJF gets in the
Screams
ring.
hurt people.
Yeah. MJF is being desperate. He wants in this group. And Bobby basically tells him, you know what? I'll give you my answer next week. So I'm like, all right, well, we're going to.
Beach break.
For beach break, Bobby will give his answer to MJF.
Let's hope it happens.
Hope it happens. I'm still a little salty that Top Flight got used as cannon fodder here.
I would have loved if they were really going to make it a thing that like MJF beats up Top Flight, MJF beats up the Crew, MJF beats up all the rest of the folks that are going there, which does bury your tag division, but you want him to look like he's gone over the edge to do it, and you're trying to build towards something to get into Double or Nothing. I have no idea.
Yeah, so there is that. So this week at Beach Break, we will find out the Hurt Syndicate's answer to letting MJF join them. So
they're going to string it out.
Yeah, they're going to string this out like,
at least till y'all in, probably.
Probably. So Young Bucks and Death Riders. Interesting.
Yeah, the Maga twins have been bothering me. General, like, their work in the ring's been pretty good, but their promos have seemed lifeless again, let alone the personal politics of anything else. They just don't seem to be engaged. And I don't know whether it's because it's the Death Rider stuff and they're just trying to pad that, or whether they actually just have come back and realized they're in this weird holding pattern when they need to change and adapt again, and they haven't done it.
Yeah. This is a no-win situation for anybody, so.
No, not really. And anyone dragged into this vortex is even more problematic.
Yeah. It sucks.
Wow.
So this was something that happened.
I didn't expect this cameo, especially close to a specific other ECW legend who had a giant match. And also, by the way, rest in peace, Seb.
Yes, rest in peace, Seb.
But yeah, did not see Rhino coming.
So, of course, Rhino is the Detroit boy because we were in Detroit for this one for Dynamite. So, hometown wrestler, everybody loves him, legend. Love Rhino. Yeah. I'm going to be so for real. When we figured out that Nick Wayne was defending his Ring of Honor television championship, I was like, there's no way he's losing this. And I find it interesting on how we set all this up. Of course, Nick Wayne defeats Rhino. Christian Cage, kind of gives Nick the belt, but then takes it and throws it on the girls are fighting. The breakup's happening. Meanwhile, Nick, after this, had to take a red eye because then he was in Japan not even that much later.
Right, but I feel like they're going to use that Japan time away for him to Christian's like, your mind's been changed by the Far East. You don't respect me anymore. You should respect me like the Japanese do, and start to really go in on him. It's going to be a big change there.
Christian's going to be a weirdo. I will say, though, so far we're only 2 nights into the Best of the Super Juniors, which El Jefe has just signed between myself and Adolfo. We will be reviewing the Best of the Super Juniors so stay tuned for content because we have decided that we broke up the blocks between the two of us and we will be recapping every Friday on the social medias in our own vids. And we're having a little contest to see which block gets more love. By the way, you should support B Block. Not saying that that's because I'm the one watching it, but I'm just saying.
Which one's El Puntador watching?
El Puntador is not watching Japanese wrestling. He doesn't think it's great. He's only CMLL related. No, but in all seriousness, please watch both videos. Me and Adolfo are super excited. And if this format works, I think we may have found a way to cover the long tournaments that lots of people try to with G1 and Best of Super Juniors in a short bite size. So I've been enjoying Nick so far in Best of the Super Juniors. So far, he's only had 1 match. He beat Show, which was a funny match. I love Show so much.
I'm glad that they had him work Show first, though, because Show is definitely a good little, dip your toe into the style, which is nice.
Well, of course, it also has to torture shenanigans. The amount of things that Show kept pulling out to hit Nick with was kind of funny.
Kind of like, I don't know, the patriarchy. Anyway, I will also, fun fact for all of you out there, and those of you that are of an older vintage probably know this, no one has ever kicked out of the gore, according to Rhino specifically. When they did, it was a spear. Anyhow, next match.
We move on to the next thing. You didn't like this?
I didn't like that Ricochet I don't think Ricochet needs the Maga twins to help him. I don't think it's a thing. So, but it was a well-worked match for the most part. I think out of all of them, probably the weakest link may have been Mark Briscoe, but not for character-wise, just for speed. But everything else was bang on.
Yeah, I see your point. I didn't think it was bad, but we're kind of falling into the trap where we're continuing to rotate the same individuals here. Of course, Swerve is still having issues with the Bucks, but we also really haven't progressed that any further.
No.
Right now, we're kind of stuck. And it also doesn't help that some of the other people that have been involved in this, Will's involved with Hangman. Also, Kevin Knight is along for the ride with Nick Wayne, because Kevin is also in Japan for competing Best in the Super Juniors as well.
Right, because we're waiting for that Kevin Knight Ricochet feud coming up at some point soon.
Yeah, so I like this match, but again, it's the same thing where we've been seeing for the last couple of weeks, where we've been getting a rotating cast of characters being thrown into these trios matches. When we get to Collision, because at first it was like, okay, I love seeing Speedball Mike Bailey every single week, but when are we going to give him something of more substance? And then Collision answered my question. Hopefully, that is where we're going.
I'm still waiting for him to spend his $100,000 on shoes.
Right, seriously. Speedball Mike Bailey, you are also a very busy individual. I am jealous of you that you could just nonchalantly go anywhere and fight pretty much anyone in the world, and it would be like a 5-star classic. Shout out to him, because Speedball Mike Bailey got a chance to go international up north at MLP's Northern Rising. Not only did he get to fight probably one of the strongest, newer stars of New Japan and Gabe Kidd, but it was a triple threat. So he also got to fight the young prodigy up and coming in the British wrestling scene, and Michael Oku. So I'm mad. He's just
get a chance. Go watch Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. That was spectacular.
Oh, it was so much fun. Also, watch Speedball Mike Bailey's episode of, him with RJ City. It was very insightful, especially, the conversation around that Speedball Mike Bailey and his pronouns and how he identifies himself. Love it. So good. This match, it was fun. We move on.
It was a good, little palate cleanser.
Yes, ma'am, you get the snaps. Yes. Love this outfit.
To transfer this, whether this was a live thing they were doing at that point, but then transitions into a live angle in the ring, come on.
So we'll do this in 2 parts. The sit-down interview, love it. It was fantastic. I love Jamie Hayter's aesthetic with everything. Is this very 70s flower power. I love this. It's so freaking good. So Jamie Hayter is sitting down. She's getting this interview. And then, of course, Mercedes Moné sticks her nose into it and fights her backstage. We get them running out, and then they start fighting in front of the crowd. And this is where it ends up at.
Well, after Jamie misses the Haterade.
Yeah.
Snapping fingers thinking it's all over, and then Mercedes sneaks back out and puts on the bank statement.
Color me interested. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm still rooting for Jamie to win, but we shall see what happens.
Just say I'm interested to the point that Jamie Hayter wins.
Yes.
If this is any way where Mercedes either gets a lot in or is made to look strong or anything else, I think they're doing a disservice.
Yes, agreed.
And she just lost one of her titles. So
yes. She is no longer the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Congratulations to Azumi. I can't wait to see where that run goes for her. We're going to talk about you in a little bit, Azumi, when we preview Beach Break, because we will be seeing you very,
very shortly.
But love this segment. This was fun. This is great.
I'm ready for these final matches, though. I really want to get them there so we know who's going to be taking on all the champions.
Yep. Speaking of Kevin Knight, this was fun. This was fun. Of course, before the match, though, gets started, Kevin Knight gets blindsided. He gets attacked prior to this. I was just like, Kevin Knight sells like nobody's business.
Well, and then Speedball comes to save him, too.
Yes. So I was like, when I was watching this, I was like, okay, I think AEW heard me at some point, and they might be answering my question. Hopefully Collision will give me more details. Also, can I just say, I'm here for Roosh in a dad turtleneck sweater.
Oh my God. Roosh just put together with the sweaty hair. Oh, it's so good.
I loved it. So we then eventually get to this Continental Championship Eliminator match. Kevin Knight tries his best. Okada, however, gets the win. And Kevin Knight is now on his way at this point of the show, on his way to Japan to compete in the Best of the Super Juniors.
I gotta say also, every time I watch Okada work now, I just have Jesse in the back of my head going, that's his finisher, is a ripcord.
Yeah.
That's what they're going, that Jamie Hayter's the same thing, and that's also really good. But that Jesse doesn't get the Rainmaker or the lore behind it, it just makes it so much funnier now.
Give our friends crap. We love him. But again, this was a really, really solid match. I enjoyed myself watching it. Dynamite had some great stuff. I enjoyed this.
The card, the promos were a little off, but the card was great.
Yeah, promos were hit and miss, but this match was not. It was it was pretty good. I loved it. It was great. Continue to run Okada through his paces.
They've got to get him amped up before he gets to combining those belts with Kenny Omega and then the tournament. So who knows?
Yeah, so gonna be interesting. Main event time.
Oh, this is brutal.
Yes, it was. On paper, I knew it was gonna be brutal, and it wasn't until we got to the very end. I'm just sitting there. I was like, mouth agape, flies are about to fall out, go in. I'm just like sitting there. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody go check on Claudio. I think he's dead.
They sacrificed him in a lot of ways. But the thing is, I will say this. It was brutal. The match was brutal and well done. The kind of interference we expected coming, but they've been sacrificing Claudio and Wheeler for what, months now in different ways, because Mox isn't doing anything about it. He's just letting them go, and they keep coming back for more.
Yeah.
It's just it has no stakes.
Yeah. I mean, this was really just for Joe to continue getting wins in the Menta, because Beach Break, we get that steel cage match between him and Mox.
Right.
As much as I would love for Joe to win, he's not going to win. But
pretty good tournament. I enjoyable TV. I'm glad I watched all those things.
Now, okay. So I'm not biased or anything, but Collision I think has finally found itself. For the last 2 months or so, I was like, you know what? I look forward to Collisions because there's always some really solid stuff on Collision.
It doesn't take itself as seriously as Dynamite either. So there's a lot of fun things that are like sat there to make you go, it's a Saturday night. I really want to enjoy myself and have a good time versus like be really involved in storyline.
Speaking of having a good time, let's talk about what kicked off the show.
Oh, this promo.
This was amazing.
Where is she? She pops up from below. It's so good. My forever champion.
Seriously, I have no words. I cannot do her justice. Like, we
say this every week. If nothing else, seek out her promos every week. Just do it. She's an amazing wrestler, but she's got such a good handle on what her job is, what her character is, and how far she's willing to push it. Even calling herself out and calling the perverts out on the double entendre and everything this time. Well done overall. And it's part of the reason I want Jamie Hayter to win is I want a promo off between the two of them and to call it the fact they're both trying to live in a different era.
Yes. Give me time travel or timey-wimey nonsense. Love it. No nuts. Wow. Yo, my boys are back finally. Yes. So backstage, we have the Paragon, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy Strong. They're talking about, especially Kyle and Roddy want some competition. And they get interrupted by GYV, the grizzled young. I've missed them so much. They've been, traveling, kind of killing it, all that. I've missed these boys so much on my TV screen. I'm ready for this match. I don't care what nobody says. It's going to be a banger.
We need a GYV versus Outrunners, a match at some point down the road.
Yes. Give it to me again. This time on AEW television, please. But I'm excited for GYV versus Paragon. I'm actually excited. This will be a fun one.
Paragon match. That's surprising.
Seriously. I'm excited. This should be a fun one.
It will.
I've missed you, GYV. Bald. So, Rick, can I just say, I have missed singles match. Angelico is great.
Yes.
Him and Ricochet had a really great match. Angelico lost, which I figured he would. But still a really solid match.
And now,
I'm just going to let the two images play, and then we'll talk about how we got to this point.
I feel like I've seen this somewhere else.
Yes. So, Ricochet, I feel like, has committed what could be possibly a hate crime.
It's at least like an ableist crime at that point. But
he committed a very ableist crime here.
But he's following the footsteps of Brock Lesnar and the Big Show.
So, okay. And forgive me, Zach Gibson is his name, I think, if I can read my notes. Zach Gowen.
Zach Gibson is on GYV.
Yeah, that's why I got the last name mixed up right now, because we were talking about GYV. But Mr. Gowen here gets into a little bit of a spat from Ricochet, and Ricochet steals his prosthetic leg.
Mikey, this is the second time in 2 weeks that someone has taken a prosthetic leg from somebody and it's been used in the ring.
Yeah, I will say, though, of course, that what happened with Montez Ford was completely unscripted, and I'm glad he did it.
Oh, yeah.
It created such a good moment. It was so good. But now Ricochet is out here taking prosthetic legs. I was like, what is happening in wrestling right now?
Is Zach Gowen going to wrestle again?
Well, we're going to talk about that when we get to the previews for Beach Break.
Oh, my God, no. Please.
Ricochet, you're a menace to society. I'm here for it.
Well, as he tried to cut the hair of the security guy that tried to stop him first.
That's also very true. So We'll talk more about you, Trevor, in a little bit, because right now we had a really fun 8-man tag team, Don Callis family. This was such a weird makeshift tag team that they were fighting against.
Yeah, no, totally. And on top of the fact that, like, it really wasn't an 8-man tag. Lance Archer wasn't doing much moving around, but still.
Exactly. So I still call it an 8-man because for all intents and purposes, that's what it is. But we had an 8-man tag team match, of course, which saw the Don Callis family taking on the team that I did not know I wanted until we saw it on TV, and I need more of them. The team of AR Fox, Bandito, and the Outrunners.
So good.
This was just pure chaotic fun, and I was here for all of it.
AR Fox was flying around the ring, doing so much in there. Bandito was in and out, helping out. And the Outrunners, the hot tag, the double team moves, and then getting completely and utterly wrecked. It was so much fun.
Yes, this was just fun. Don Callis family does pick up the win here.
Shocker.
But again, I did not mind it because, again, like you stated at the beginning, in JVL, that Collision doesn't take itself too seriously, so we can have a lot of fun. It was had. Yes.
Man.
So, dare I say, while it's still the same thing, I did not mind this Moxley promo.
When he's pre-taped and not rambling, somehow it makes more sense.
Yes. Or when and like we talked about last week, we had a pre-taped. That was pre-dope and it was pre-decent. And then later on in the show I was like, and you ruined it.
Yeah. But again, give me more Marina Shafir. I love this, but still.
Marina, me and Andrew will get to see you this week, and we are excited.
Say hi for us.
We'll be watching her defend her Defy Women's Championship. It's going to be so fun. Against Smiley Kylie Ray, which has me also excited. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
I haven't seen Kylie Ray back in the ring in a while. That sounds like it's going to be a fun match.
Oh, please. You need to go see her match she had with Giselle Shaw at Maple Leaf this past weekend. They both knocked it out the park.
Not surprised.
So good. So low key, I loved watching Anthony Bowen's Molly Wach on. However,
Lee Johnson to do anything like he has what? Oh my god!
So I liked watching Anthony mollywop on Lee. However, I now need to start pushing Bowens to something more substantial. Yes. I'm glad he's back. We've gotten this for a little bit, but now let's get him into a proper feud now.
With who?
That is also a very good question. I will let you know when I think of that.
I will let AEW creative know too, because I don't think anyone can think of what place he fits in right now. That's the problem.
Very true.
His gimmick is a little too generic, which is saying something because he's such a good wrestler and a good character. But it's like, yeah, you're the 5-tool player.
What else? So this was not even a 5-minute match, nor should it have been. So Anthony Bowens gets the victory. Love seeing it, but I want something more substantial for him. Also, watching Billy Gunn just run chaotic roughshod and just like scare the bejeebus out of Lee and Blake Christian is kind of fun to watch too.
At his age, I'm surprised he can run that fast.
Yeah, I love you. Him and Psycho Mike had such a fun interaction at the gauntlet. It was so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
I need Billy Gunn in Mystery Wrestling, just saying.
If he would put his ego aside to do it, I think it'd be fun.
So we shall see. But we move on because we got to talk about a really good promo from the Gates of Agony. I was here for all of this. I was like, give these boys more mic time.
They could talk so well. They really aren't given the chance to.
So I was just like, I also love this picture because number one, they are about to beat everybody up that comes to their path. But also because I'm a man of a certain age and certain ethnicity, these two are about to drop the hottest mixtape of the summer. This is a big
that's about to happen.
It is great. They give us a very passionate promo, which I love from these two. Give them more mic time, but then of course, are we still calling them the Learning Tree?
I mean, he is the Redwood Big Bill and the Bad Apple Brian Keith, so there's some sort of tree.
So so those two come out to interrupt, which then leads to these four brawling, and by the end of it, everybody went through tables.
Shocker that everybody went through tables. That is the shocker.
Please give us a tables match.
Or something. Like, just, you need to...
Double or nothing. There you go. Have it.
Love it. It'll be on the pre-show, but love it.
Yeah, but this was fun. I actually do like that we are getting Big Bill and Brian Keith fighting with Gates of Agony, because it gets also Gates of Agony more outside of squash matches, which we've been wanting for the longest time.
Well, and this wasn't a match. It was an angle, which is even better. You're actually showing they can do angles and promos instead of just big matches. They beat somebody in 5 minutes.
Exactly. So I'm actually excited to see where this goes for us. And the inevitable match between these two teams, I'm here for it.
Let's do it. Let's see them
Yes.
again and again.
Yes.
You can't go wrong with this. This combination just does not fail.
So I don't throw out this term lightly, but I know, in wrestling, sometimes when we're watching wrestling, the crowd will shout, "Fight forever." And sometimes I personally feel that certain people don't need to be fighting forever. However, caveat, these two can fight forever, and I will eat it up every time.
Oh, easily. They keep finding new ways to change up their feudability, work with each other's strengths well. They know each other so well.
This was such a dope match. And, I actually really liked the angle too, because towards the tail end, because Chris didn't see this, Marina Shift causes Willow to pretty much lose the match.
Oh, right. Yeah.
She runs in and spoils Willow's match. And Chris didn't see this, and Chris is able to hit the Saturday Night Fever.
It's really the only way that they could do it at this point because Willow had her really well worked over. So.
Oh, absolutely.
But now Marina's obviously going to keep costing Willow matches. We keep building that feud. Will this be on the card for something? Maybe she's got Chris in her corner.
Right? So I'm excited to see where this goes. So I love this. Give me more of this, please. I want to see. This
Let's
is
have
fun.
a bunch more, please. A bunch more.
Yeah. Takeshita and Josh Alexander. I love you two so much. I hate that it was at the expense of our Boys of the Dark Order, but damn.
Hi, Uno. Good to see you, but also, come on, Uno. They're never going to rise back up, and I'm so sad about that. The Dark Order deserves so much better. But
yeah, I love Dark Order. I love Takeshita and Josh Alexander. They are both great. I was just sad that
they beat the crap out of them. That was snug.
It definitely was, for sure.
Which is just foreshadowing what they're going to do at Beach Break.
Beach Break, which we'll talk about a little bit later, because right now, I would also like these two to fight for a little bit.
Let's have it going, please. Speedball against anybody is going to work well, but Dralistico is having a bit of a push now. Or are we building to Speedball versus Roosh?
I don't know. That's a good question. But I will say, though, this match was a lot of fun. But also, I got to show this was fast paced. This was great. And then, of course, at the end, Roosh coming out with the finger point. I was just like, yes, this is the feud I want.
It's going to happen hopefully soon. Like I said, we need it to happen. Now, how long of a match do you think we're going to get out of Roosh?
That is very true as well.
I don't know. I'm waiting to see it. It'll be fun. Is this a double or nothing match? Is this a beach break match? Is this, I don't know.
Right. So that's going to be the more interesting part when it comes to all of this too. So we shall see what happens with all of that, but I'm excited.
Yes. Bring me this more Speedball, more Roosh.
Yes. We love it.
Ooh.
So main event time.
It's a bunch of chest hair.
It really, truly is. So Daniel Garcia will be facing a member of FTR, which ends up being Dax and all of this. Match itself was pretty okay, but these are the moments that really matter because first, this is like a horror movie right here. Dax,
the old Keith Lee shots were before he was about to pounce on somebody.
Dax, you sold this very, very well. Nigel also played this very well. This is like a horror movie status where Dax gets in Nigel's face. And Nigel's like, hey, I don't want any involvement in this. Dax goes too far. Nigel says, puck it. I'm going to get myself involved, which then allows FTR. Danny to pick up the win. We get a fight afterwards, and Daddy Magic run off FTR and Stokely for all of this. So interesting pairing.
Good way to go off the air. It was a bog standard match. We knew there were going to be shenanigans. I like that Nigel's getting involved, but I feel like, again, people are going to see this and be like, oh, they're doing this WWE a lot better. I'm like, no, they're just doing it faster. It's actually being done a lot better here. And I want to see how it turns out. Going to turn on everybody.
That is very, very true. But that is going to be it, the review portion. But really quick, what a week.
But Mikey, what do we have next?
So really quickly, I do want to preview Beach Break and then go into all of that. So this week is Beach Break. So far we have a bunch of matches for Dynamite, and then we have one match for Collision so far. So first we're getting the steel cage match for the AEW World Championship. Moxley's winning. No surprise here. Should be fun though.
Yeah.
We are also getting Will Ospreay and Hangman Page versus Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita, which makes me excited.
This one's going
to be fun. Can't wait. We also have another four-way eliminator with Timeless Tony Storm, a returning Sky Blue, which makes me super ecstatic.
Yes.
But we at the time of when I made these slides, we did not know who the other two were. I can give confirmation in this four-way. It's going to be Tony Storm, Sky Blue, Zumi, and Mina share.
Oh, that's going to be a big one. Mina and Tony in the ring again for the first time in a while.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I want a Julia Hart interaction with Sky Blue for some reason. I don't know why.
I know, right? Crazy. And then, of course, yes, we are getting Ricochet versus Zach Gowen.
The man who can flip from anywhere and the man who can't flip.
So we shall see what happens with all of this.
First match in years. And it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah. And then finally, for Collision so far, it is going to be Anna Jay versus Megan Bayne, but they gave us Harley Cameron's graphics, so they messed up. But hey.
Yes. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be shenanigans galore. I feel like they need to make this a no-holds-barred match or something. It's got to just some way to put up with Megan Bayne.
Oh, absolutely. And the last bit of news is that AEW Dynamite 300 will be coming to us live from Ontario, California, Wednesday, July 2nd. Me, Mama Laguillo are looking at tickets when they go on sale because we are going to be there for both the Dynamite 300 and Collision double taping that day. So summer's looking up.
Live video of you and Mama Laguillo in the audience, talking it up, giving your reviews, making fun of Ricochet being bald. It needs to happen.
My Mama Laguillo wants one thing and one thing only. She hopes Thunder makes the card because she wants to see Thunder wrestle again. I'm like, I hope so too.
I do too. I don't see it happening, but I do too.
Love it. Well, that's going to be it for us here at All Elite Ensemble.
So now apparently I have to get a costume together for next week, right?
Yes. So next week's AEW review, because we will be reviewing Beach Break, me and JVL will be dressing up in our best beach wear. So it's going to be a fun one for sure.
Now, I have to check with demonetization things because what if I choose nude beach?
That is very true as well. Go for it. Why not? That is also very true. But we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in. We got a full week of reviews coming up shortly. But until then, remember, from all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic. More importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll see you later this week for more reviews. But until
thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.